for figuring out technical problems.
Right, and the article laid out some really crucial best practices for managing these logs. Like, obviously making sure logging is actually turned on for critical systems.
Sounds basic, but easily overlooked. And ensuring you're logging comprehensively capturing the important data and events. Plus, actually reviewing the logs regularly to spot anything suspicious.
You can't just collect them, you have to look at them.
Precisely. And given the sheer volume of data these logs generate, using specialized log management tools becomes pretty essential for collection, storage, analysis, making sense of it all.
And security around the logs themselves is key too, right? Controlling who can access or change them.
Absolutely critical. Secure access controls are vital. Plus, ensuring secure, long-term storage that meets whatever regulatory rules apply, and having solid backup procedures. You can't lose your logs.
And setting up real-time alerts for specific scary-looking events found in the logs. That seems like a must for quick response to breaches.
Definitely. Early detection is key. And maintaining the integrity of the logs, making sure they haven't been tampered with, maybe using write-once storage is crucial if they're ever needed for investigation.
So why are all these best practices so vital? What's the payoff?
Well, several big things. They're fundamental for proving you're compliant with regulations. They're essential for identifying and dealing with data breaches effectively. They help improve system stability by showing what went wrong. They allow for thorough forensic analysis after an incident. They boost accountability by tracing actions to users. They ensure data integrity. They even provide insights for IT planning based on usage patterns. And ultimately, they just significantly strengthen an organization's overall security. It's foundational.
Foundational.
Okay.
Now, moving to another really interesting concept from Wikipedia. Surveillance. Let's try and get a clear picture of this.
Right, surveillance. At its core, it's the act of an individual participant recording events or activities. It often gets called inverse surveillance or valence from below.
So, not the state watching citizens, but citizens watching.
Or just recording their own experience within a situation. It isn't necessarily anti-surveillance, but it provides a record from a different perspective, often from the viewpoint of those being observed by traditional surveillance.
The phrase, who watches the watchers,
Yeah.
comes up, but the entry said that's more like metavalence.
Yeah, surveillance is more about this distributed observation, individuals creating their own records of their experiences.
Right.
And the Wikipedia entry notes how sometimes tension can arise between traditional top-down surveillance and this bottom-up surveillance.
I could imagine.
But it also highlights the potential for surveillance to foster reciprocal accountability and for addressing issues like, say, election fraud or police misconduct, citing examples like cop watch groups and people using mobile phones to monitor elections, even just personal wearable tech like body cams or life logging devices kind of falls under this umbrella.
Fascinating idea. Okay, shifting gears again, let's look at what modern video AI can do based on that Google Cloud page. The capabilities seem pretty impressive.
They really are striking. We're talking about AI that can recognize thousands of different objects, places, actions within videos, both stored ones and live streamed.
Wow.
It can detect when camera shots change, pull text out of the video using OCR, spot explicit content, automatically generate closed captions,
For accessibility.
recognize logos, even famous people, and do sophisticated analysis of human faces and poses.
And that ability to create custom labels with their AutoML video intelligence. That sounds incredibly powerful. You have very specific things you need to analyze in videos.
Exactly. It allows for really tailored video analysis. And this tech directly addresses the huge, ever-increasing amount of video data being generated and the need for efficient ways to actually understand what's in it.
Which leads perfectly into the practical need. If you have all this video, how do you make sure people find it? Optimizing it for search engines. That Forbes guide had some key tips.
Yeah, classic SEO principles applied to video. It stresses using relevant keywords, doing your keyword research in video titles, descriptions, tags, much like for a web page.
Makes sense.
And understanding YouTube's ranking factors is crucial too. Things like views, how long people watch time, engagement like likes, comments, shares, subscriber growth, and also where your videos get embedded online.
So it's not just the content, but how people interact with it and where it appears.
Exactly. And technical things matter too, like creating video sitemaps and using schema.org markup. These help search engines like Google actually crawl and understand your video content properly, especially if it's on your own website.
Right.
The guide also makes the good point that popular, high-quality videos just naturally attract more links and embeds from other sites, which in turn helps their search rankings. It's a virtuous cycle.
Okay. Now, as we've journeyed through all these different areas, AI, finance, security, video, we start seeing these interesting connections emerge, don't we? Especially thinking about Dr. Avi Rushenek's work.
Absolutely. As an accounting professor, his core expertise in data analytics is sort of the thread connecting many of these things.
Yeah.
His work in algorithmic formulation, designing the rules for both search engine optimization, getting things found online, and trading systems, automating financial decisions. That shows a deep understanding of turning data and rules into algorithms.
And his interest in forensic accounting and fraud examination fits right in too.
Definitely. Those fields increasingly rely on heavy data analysis and understanding the kind of digital audit trails we were just talking about. Even his involvement in mobile app development shows engagement with current tech across different fields.
You can really see how these themes of data analysis, algorithms, security, they weave through so many of the topics we've hit today.
Yeah, and that mention of continuous cloud sync video SEO audit trails from the We Robot 2014 event you found. That's particularly telling, isn't it?
It really ties things together. Video technology, online visibility via SEO, and the critical need for data logging and audit trails for accountability. All areas we've touched on.
And knowing Dr. Rushenek is on the editorial boards for journals covering forensic accounting and IT just reinforces that broad expertise and the links between these fields. Plus, seeing both Avi and Sarah Rushenek involved in that event and noting their joint publications from Sarah's CV, it points to a strong collaborative research dynamic there.
That collaboration is so often key in pushing these interdisciplinary boundaries. And that Reddit thread we saw about long-term cloud storage for video, that brings up a really practical challenge.
Totally. With more video being created, analyzed by AI, optimized with SEO, where do you keep it all affordably and securely long-term?
Right. Discussing services like Backblaze or Wasabi, thinking about cost effectiveness, data egress fees.
Yeah.
It highlights the real-world infrastructure needed to support all these advanced technologies.
It's not just about the fancy algorithms, it's about the plumbing too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's try and bring this all together. You've now taken a deep dive into a really diverse, but as we've seen, interconnected set of topics. From algorithmic trading and the vital role of audit logs.
This is the power of video AI and the importance of making content discoverable through SEO.
And what's so insightful, I think, is seeing how these fields, while they look distinct on the surface, are all fundamentally driven by increasingly sophisticated technology and the growing importance of data.
Yeah, how we analyze it, how we secure it, how we use it strategically. The wide-ranging work of someone like Professor Avi Rushenek really exemplifies the kind of cross-disciplinary thinking that's becoming essential to navigate this complex landscape.
So here's maybe a final provocative thought for you to mull over. As AI gets more deeply woven into our professional lives, our personal lives, analyzing markets, maybe assisting in legal cases, managing our digital memories, how does our basic understanding of trust, accountability, and transparency need to evolve?
That's a huge question. How do we ensure fairness and oversight?
Right. And concepts like surveillance individuals creating their own records and robust audit logging ensuring system accountability, they suddenly seem more critical than ever in that evolving context, don't they?
They really do. As we rely more on automated systems, figuring out how to maintain human oversight and embed ethical considerations right into their design and use, that's a major ongoing challenge. It demands constant dialogue and adaptation.
Absolutely. And finally, we really encourage you to think about which of these areas sparks your curiosity most. Maybe you want to dig deeper into specific algorithmic trading strategies, or compare cloud storage options, or think more about the societal implications of surveillance versus surveillance.
Yeah, this deep dive has really just scratched the surface. There's a whole world of information out there for you to explore further if any of these areas grabbed you.
So now we are wrapping it up, and I copied the URL of Loom. And then add it to the Pessar Problem Step Recorder executable program. Paste it in there, and OK. And then we're going to go back into the various notes files and pasting it also into the note files. So here you have 2 sessions of Loom. The first one, edit, paste, and the second one, none which I've listened to so far. I want to file, save my notepad, then repeat it the same way for my WordPad. The first Loom, and then after that, paste the second Loom, and then again save it. Then I can go back and try to document further this Loom. Let's see if we can play it back. And if we cannot play it back many times, what I like to do is simply try to reload it. And then the playback button appears all of a sudden.
They're fundamental for improving your compliant regulations. They're essential for identifying and dealing with data breaches effectively. They help improve system stability by showing what went wrong. They allow for thorough forensic analysis after incident. They boost accountability by tracing actions to users. They ensure data integrity. They even provide insights for IT planning based on usage patterns. And ultimately, they just significantly strengthen an organization's overall security. It's foundation.
Okay. Now, moving to another really interesting concept from Wikipedia. Surveillance. Let's try to get a clear picture of this.
Right, surveillance, at its core, is the act of an individual participant recording events or activities. It often gets called inverse surveillance or surveillance from below.
So, not state watching citizens, but citizens watching.
Or just recording their own experience within a situation. It isn't necessarily anti-surveillance, but it provides a record from a different perspective, often from the viewpoint of those being observed by traditional surveillance.
The phrase "who watches the watchers"
Yeah.
comes up. The entry says that's what meta is.
Yeah, surveillance is more about this distributed observation, individuals creating their own records of their experiences. Right. And we keep.
And I add my notepad as comments and paste it in. And then I'm going to scroll to I added my WordPad. And now I'm back to my notepad. I select all and I edit, copy that. And I'm going to add that as a summary. Add that as a summary. Paste it in. Then scroll down to add chapters. Add 3 chapters for the following points of time: 0 seconds, 20 seconds, and 30 seconds, and save them. And finally, I'm going to go to the previous session and repeat the same thing for the previous session. Since it doesn't display, I'm going to reload it first. And once I reload it, I get the playback button to examine it. And since that sounds perfectly good, I'm going to suspend it by pasting a comment into my notes, scrolling down, going back into the WordPad, selecting all of the WordPad, and then right mouse and copy it to the clipboard buffer and adding it as a summary. So I'm pasting the WordPad into the summary field of Loom, then scroll down to add chapters, and then save the 3 chapters. Finally, I can also look at the activity or the transcript copy the transcript and put it in my notes. So I have in my local folder here. I can copy a link. I want to mark about 1 hour ago. Mark all these notes and copy them to the clipboard buffer. Let's see if I paste it in my notepad here, what comes out. Yes. So I saved it in my notepad, and now I can navigate Now I saved it in my WordPad, and now I can navigate to my notepad and save it there too. For some reason, only one loom is there and the other loom disappeared somehow. I don't know how that happened, but something happened here. I'm going to segregate it with open bracket and then close bracket. And in the middle, I'm going to put Control V, the notes. Then I want to get back the two loom addresses. Copy them, go back up to my notepad to the top there where I lost. Oh, here it is, so I didn't lose it actually. So File, Save. And now I'm ready to refresh my Psar. I can also add I have the notepads in there, so the loom recordings in there, so I don't need to edit anymore. I'm going to stop the Psar and then save the Psar, increment the name. I click the Save button. I found the previous version, which was version A, and I increment it to version B. This is a poor man version control, so I attach to the year 2025 a B and delete the A, which is the previous version. Then I update the time to 3:14 p.m. So instead of 2:55, I'm going to write 3:14 p.m. And then I'll put a note, notebook LM, join plus playback. So the join function plus playback. And then I'm going to copy the path to psar.exe into the clipboard buffer and insert it or paste it in the first position of the file name with Control V, followed by a backslash. And now I got a string with the prefix of the path to the psar.exe subfolder off of the documents folder of this PC. And to the right of the backslash is the file name updated. So now I review it by clicking in the first field of the Save As dialog box, and then the second field with the right mouse click, copy to the clipboard buffer and save. Then I click Review Additional Details to scroll up to see that this was a total of 113 steps. So then I start a new recording and I add a comment to the new recording with a file name and location of the previous recording of psar.exe. So there is a blockchain of folders within a subfolder about the theme of the topic of today. And then I click OK to proceed. Then go back to my various documents. First is the WordPad, and I paste the new Psar file with a few spaces and save it. Then repeat the same thing for the Notepad. The second one is a text type of a format, file save, as opposed to the first one, which is a rich file, RTF, rich text file or format. And now I got the file listed in both and saved. File saved. So now I'm ready to wrap it up, start the various recording and test them. So I'm going to start with CyberLink, the webcam that recorded about almost an hour. So I press the stop button, tap it, wait for it to stop the recording, then double click it to playback. And that sounds perfectly good, so I'm going to X out of it. Then I'm going to the next webcam software that uses another camera yet. The first one was using the built-in camera, and the second one is using the J5 Create 360 camera. I'm going to tap the stop button and stop it, then double click it to play it back. And it is perfectly good, so I'm going to X out of it. And finally, last but not least, is MSN Recorder. So I click on it to focus the cursor on it, then click stop, then click no, I don't want to upload it, and then click play.
University of Miami.
Right, his work touches on so many different things.
Exactly. Big data analytics meetings, SEO algorithms, or maybe AI stepping into forensic accounting. It's that kind of terrain we're covering today. For you, we've put together a collection of sources that really highlight these dynamic connections. Our mission is basically to pull out the most compelling insights and show how these seemingly separate areas actually weave together.
In ways you might not expect, yeah. We've got a really interesting mix of material. Imagine taking a peek into live discussions. We have transcripts from YouTube videos covering, well, everything from AI's potential role in expert witness testimony, to practical tips for managing your digital files, and even some personal finance chats around ETFs. Then we kind of shift gears to the mechanics of algorithmic trading, using info from Wikipedia and
This is perfectly good, so I'm going to shut that down. And finally, the last but not least, wrap up PSAR. So stop the current PSAR, save it, upgrade the B2C, so delete the B and keep the C, and then extend the time from 3:14, the previous time I did it, delete and backspace and delete, to 3:21, so 3.21 is the current time. Then I grab the psar.exe path and insert it in front of the file name, and that is going to be a zip type of file structure. It comes out of psar.exe, problem step recorder executable, that comes with Microsoft Windows 10 and 11, and then save it. Last thing I want to do is click review additional details and scroll up to see that this was 30 steps. I'm going to minimize it, and this is it for now. And now I'm ready to shut the external recordings, one of which is one set of phones here. So I press the stop button, and then turn the phone off, close all apps so it can charge, and power it down. Take the other phone out of my lanyard, stop its